AFC champions Cincinnati Bengals taking on the NFC champions, the Los Angeles Rams. Brandon Gaudin joined by my good friend Charles Davis. And Charles, it was maybe the most unlikely Super Bowl run we've seen in a long time. What a story. The Bengals had not won a playoff game since January of 1991. 4-11-1 last year, 2-14 the season before that. Bottom line, though, here they are, the AFC champs.
And Brandon, this is one of the more remarkable turnarounds in NFL history in recent years. In fact, most of the guys on this team weren't even born the last time they won a playoff game. Although, not that long ago, they had a stretch where they were in the playoffs seemingly every year, but couldn't win a playoff game. Now they've gotten that done. They're back in the Super Bowl. And remember, 2 Super Bowl appearances in their history. Number 16 and 23. Unfortunately, both times they ran into Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers.
Meanwhile, the LA Rams, they are back in the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years. Remember, they lost Super Bowl 53 to the Patriots in Atlanta 13-3. But here they are trying to be the second team in 2 years after Tampa Bay last year to win the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
And we go back to that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, and remember, they were an offensive juggernaut at that time, but only put up 3 points in that game. And they have been a little bit of a tough team to pin down over the last few years. They've had their shares of ups and downs, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But they've always had that great defense, and they're looking to ride that crew to a Super Bowl crown.
And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. Second down at 4. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And the Rams got him. They bring him down. Von Miller. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at 3rd down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. Now it's Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. I ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
2nd and 5 now. Burrow. And that is incomplete here. The tight end, C.J. Uzomah, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Burrow will throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. Back deep, Brandon Powell. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their quarterback in his 13th NFL season now. It's Matthew Stafford.
And apparently all Matt Stafford needed was a ticket to L.A. to get his postseason career on track. Never won a playoff game in his decade-plus in Detroit. But he cleared that hurdle a few weeks back, and now he has the Rams in position to play for the ultimate prize and in their home stadium.
Meanwhile, Stafford's throw pulled in by Jefferson. 2nd and 5. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
And I think we can see early on they're making a concerted effort to get him the football. So to me, that means they like the matchup that they have. They feel like he's better than the guys that are covering him.
2 plays, 2 passes. We'll see if they go back to that well. The broken tackle, but couldn't create much space. Down just beyond the 35. Coming up on a 2nd and 6. Stafford now to throw. They'll set up the screen here to Akers. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially as pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
From the 36, Stafford. He'll dump this off to Akers. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. Stafford. And able to find Higbee. It's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. On first down, Stafford here. Open man right side is Cup, complete. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. A chance for the first score of this Super Bowl. Here's 1st and goal. Here's Stafford. Flushed out right. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. The sneak at Stafford, and he takes it across for a Rams touchdown. With a first touchdown of this Super Bowl, and a long one at that. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. So he's able to sneak it in, and credit to the guys up front.
Oh, without a doubt, because they have the leverage on this play. We always talk about low man wins and one-on-one battles. That's exactly what happened there. Their offensive line lower than the defensive front.
Matt Gay on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it was capped off by the quarterback sneak for 6. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now Burrow on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
On 2nd and 10, Burrow throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Now Burrow. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off at the 48. And he will bring it back. It's an interception return for a Rams touchdown. What a moment for him, a pick six in the Super Bowl. You think about some of the big pick sixes over the history of this huge game. I remember, because I was watching with a lot of Colts fans, Tracy Porter picking Peyton Manning to get the Saints' first title.
Yeah, that one pretty much sealed the deal for New Orleans as well. But I got to go back a ways because, you know, unfortunately, I'm considerably older. Herb Adderley, the Green Bay Packers, got it all started. The first pick six, Super Bowl II against the Oakland Raiders, and some of the better ones that were out there. You might remember Dwight Smith of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 2 in one game when they won their Super Bowl championship against Rich Gannon in Oakland. You mentioned Tracy Porter already. How about James Harrison of the Steelers? You remember that one? 100 yards right before the half ended? That was a big-time play. But for me, the absolute classic, Willie Brown in slow motion against the Vikings for the Raiders. The grand old man, Willie Brown, 75 yards.
You recall them all, and what a play here. Another pick six in the Super Bowl. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. Here's Burrow. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dive look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Here's Powell on the return. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their 2nd drive of the game. And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try to cut down the length of the drive.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. They'll run on 1st down with Akers. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
On 2nd and 7, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down. Boy, a call like this, certainly tougher to make in a Super Bowl, but they'll go for it on 4th down. And he's going to have a first down on a gain of about 10, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. And eventually, Sam Hubbard. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. His throw incomplete.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He completes it to Beckham. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 18.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback, because instead of forcing something on 3rd down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a first down.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Stafford going to give to Akers on the draw. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. The final shot before the break, Stafford. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Matthew Stafford, as time expires in the first half. And the Rams continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So these two teams will head to the locker room as we hit halftime in Super Bowl 56. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. What a season this has been. Hard to believe it ends tonight, as we'll get back to you guys for the second half of this Super Bowl in just a moment. Thus far, this Super Bowl has looked less like a contest and more like a coronation. And to call the second half, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. A big reason why they've been so successful, this defense hasn't been able to contain him when he gets outside of the pocket.
So true, and that's when it's really difficult, because defensively you can have a game plan and try to account for all the things you've seen on tape, the way that they run their plays, even his running. But when it's a play where you just can't really say, okay, that's how the play's supposed to go, what they call broken plays, that's when the X and O doesn't work. That's when their Jimmy is better than your Joe.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Off the fake to Akers, here's Stafford. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Going to run the sweep here. This is Cobb. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. And now they're in the hurry-up. Going to run the sweep here. This is Cobb. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line.
I think the reason this play is so successful is not just the blocking at the point of attack, but how about the speed at which he takes the handoff? He's in motion already, so he's not coming from a flat start like a running back often is. He's at a full run by the time he gets the football.
Stafford's throw complete there to Beckham. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Stafford going to give this to Akers. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. From the 50, Stafford. That'll be caught. It's Kupp. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets, because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. To throw again on second down. Stafford flush to his right. He's got the first down inside the 10. And down to the 7-yard line.
That's a big league job there of getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And the Bengals are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities. And this is a good one right in front of them.
So a little more space to work with here from the 13 on 1st and 10. Now Joe Mixon. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. 2nd and 8 coming up. Now it's Burrow. And his throw here is incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
On the return is Powell. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up 2nd down. 2nd and 10 here in the third quarter of Super Bowl 56. Out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the gun, here's Stafford. Buying time to his left. Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the first. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. Escaping the pressure right. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert. And they turn it over. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But 3rd down coming up. And the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. This goes out wide for Mixon. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And
because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
1st down marker at the 5. It's 2nd and goal. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. What a game this defense continues to play, huh?
Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap, and they've controlled this ball game. But right now, if you're on the other side of the ball, you got to match that aggressiveness.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Samaje Perine taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Bengals are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead will be cut down to 14. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the hands team for the Rams able to secure the football. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And his throw is incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds a defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback. I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion. So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, the defense was able to get the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his hands. And he got the ball out of his han When it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
On 4th down, Stafford eluding the pressure right. He finds his target, Beckham. And inside the 20.